Greetings and welcome to Nathan Lyle Official. If you've never seen my face in a video before, my name is Nathan Lyle. This is my personal channel where I do vlogs, reviews, and anything else that happens to catch my fancy. Today we are going to talk about a Canadian teen dance drama called The Next Step. Now, I don't have all of the information for you. Some of the shit you're going to have to look up yourself, but the one thing I do know is this is a more recent one. So recent, in fact, that I feel like I think it's still on right now. If I remember correctly, they're like filming season 10, which may or may not be the last season. Once again, I don't have all the information.
You're fucking useless.
First of all, a little history. This show is technically a kid's show. It is geared for a much younger audience. Preteens, tweens, whatever they're calling them nowadays.
I'm too old for this.
I'm a man in my 30s who first started watching this in my late 20s. I'm definitely not the target audience, and I mostly discovered it by accident. Also, I said earlier, it's got like 9 or 10 seasons. I'm only going to talk about the first 5. If you want more information, I'll put a link in the description for Brittany Raymond. She's an amazing YouTuber. She was on The Next Step. She does a lot of videos about it.
What's up, girl? Hey there. Hey.
Last I checked, I think it was on Hulu. It might still be there. I don't know. I honestly haven't actually sat and watched the show in a few years. These opinions are all very old, but they are very strong opinions that I desperately feel the need to vocalize.
Let's just get this over with. Make it as painless as possible.
Now, the first and most important thing you need to know is that I love this show. Absolutely love this show. It's one of my favorite things I've ever seen. I discovered it on accident. I come home from work one day and I'm just straight flipping through the channels. And at the time, I think Discovery had just acquired a lot of kids program and launched a new channel, Discovery Kids. And I just happened to flip through the channels in time, and I caught the series premiere of this show. I think this might have been when the 5th season was airing, because we speed ran the first 4 seasons pretty quickly, and I did miss a few things the first viewing. But then they get to the 5th season and it slowed up a lot. And then it disappeared forever. And I never saw it again. I don't want this video to be 20 hours long because I'm the one who has to edit all that shit. So we're going to try to stick to just the most basic things that I both loved and hated about it. The thing I love most, obviously, the dancing. So many skilled dancers here. There are some shows where they take actors and teach them to dance. This is a show where apparently they took professional trained dancers who all just happened to be in that teenage, early 20s age range, and then asked them to try and act their best. Not gonna lie, some of them did a better job than others, but we're not gonna get into that. That's not why we're here. Personally, I think my 3 favorite dances, first of all, I'm more of a hip-hop guy, so like I love the first battle that they do with Seeds in season 1, season 2, the quartet to Never Get Lost, and then season 4, LiQWYD and the other guy, they're trying to figure out who's a better teacher. They're teaching the girls hip-hop.
It's gonna be interesting.
In addition to the dancing, which is the main point of the show, it's also a very interesting story with some compelling characters, a lot of good drama.
This means nothing to us except that she's a diva. Are you crazy?
Do we want a diva on our team?
Didn't think so.
That to me is probably the best thing about this show. I felt so invested in the characters and their story arcs and their growth, which leads me to what I'm a very quick best and worst list. Now, my absolute favorite thing about this show is that you do see a lot of growth. You see a lot of characters like Noah and I forget Rochelle. They show up in season 1 as J-Troopers, and you see them growing and maturing both as people and dancers. Season 1, Riley is this shy book nerd who's just afraid to take any risk, and yet season 4, she's in charge.
Me. Run the studio.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Now, the romantic things, it can get tiring at times, but there's also times when it is so good. The Eldon love triangle in season 1, to me it felt a little forced. Like I said, I wasn't paying as close attention the first time. I think they built really well on the Emily Eldon storyline. The Michelle thing still feels a little out of pocket, and it definitely was created to give these two a reason to hate each other, because you need to have drama. It is a television show. But still, especially in season 2 when they added, oh, let's make this a square, that the shit got off the rails quickly, and I loved a lot of the little twists and turns they did there. And yes, I am totally Team Riley, my favorite couple in the show. Even though there are a lot of times when so much of it feels forced, it didn't seem to make that much sense when it first showed up and they first started laying these hints. But the more I see them together, the more I want to see them together. Are they the perfect couple? No. Are they the couple for the next step? Yes. Which brings us to the thing I hate most about the show, Season 4. Season 4 in general is equally the best and worst season ever, but that's also... Well, we'll talk about that in just a second. Mostly for this season, man, fuck you, Riley. James may have forgiven you. I don't have to. I'm gonna be honest, not a huge Riley fan. James is my favorite character in the show, and Riley is James's favorite person in the world, so for that reason alone, I have to be okay with Riley. I still don't forgive her, though. Season 4 truly felt like such a dumpster fire. And that's also why, even though it is the worst season of them all, it is the best season, because it shows them as humans. And I'm sure plenty of people, myself included, would probably rather never have seen season 4. But I think it's good for the show. Because when I watch season 1 of The Next Step, I'm rooting for them, kind of knowing, hey, it's a kid's show. They're probably going to win, but not knowing for sure if that's where they would take this. Season 2, there was definitely an element of, oh, they're definitely going to win, but are they? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Season 3, it was like, oh, they're definitely going to win. There was no real feeling of tension. I mean, there was like a little bit. There were 1 or 2 points where you're like, ugh. Maybe not. I don't know. But definitely like 98% fully expected them to win. That's what makes season 4 good, seeing them lose. It adds to the realism of it. It adds to the tension of the further seasons that they are actually capable of doing poorly. Also, I'll say in Riley's defense, everyone will say that she is objectively the more studio head, but Miss Kate really didn't do that great of a job either. She was literally letting the inmates run the asylum. You know how many times someone comes up to her with something and she's just like, I mean, that's not up to me, that's your choice. No, you are the adult. Act like it for once. The most unrealistic moment of this entire show, they were at a competition. Wes gets food poisoning. He is vomiting all day. They add Michelle into the program. They retool their entire dance to be around her. And then out of nowhere, at the last second, after everyone else has already walked onto the stage, prepared to dance with Michelle, Wes, who has been vomiting all day, I haven't seen him drink anything. Does he have a single fluid in his body left? He comes running up and he's like, I can do it, I can do it. And Kate's just like, well, Michelle, it's your choice. No, it is not Michelle's choice. You're the adult. You need to tell him, hey, bruh, it's not your day. Sorry, I am glad you're feeling better, but not today. Sit your ass back the fuck down.
That was bullshit.
Speaking of decisions that make no sense, actually this one I'm a little forgiving of it, because knowing what I know now, they probably had no choice but to do this because she had some obligation in real life that kept her from being around for filming a lot of this season. So I can understand that much, but the way they chose to handle it was wrong. Because in season 3, they suddenly started saying that Amanda sucked. Which is bullshit. She's an amazing fucking dancer. She was the lead dancer at a studio that won nationals 3 times. Actually, I think season 1 was regionals, not nationals. Whatever. They won 3 times in a row, and she was the best dancer at the best studio. And then, the second season, she's literally 3 points out of 100. 3 more points, and she would have been Miss National Soloist. And now, out of nowhere, just Suddenly, you decided, no, she's a bad dancer. This is bullshit.
That was bullshit.
You know how I know it's all bullshit? Because she's a better dancer than she is an actor. She cannot act like she can't dance. I see her trying to act like she's not good at it, forcing herself to try and do it wrong. And it does look awkward and uncomfortable, but for the wrong reasons. I think the better way they could have done it, they could still do the same storyline, but instead of just saying, oh, you're a bad dancer, what you could have said is, I'm not seeing enough effort from you, something along those lines, saying like, hey, you've always been naturally talented, so amazingly great, but I see them working hard every day getting better while you're just stuck in a rut. Like, that one might have been at least a little believable. But for the girl who was literally 3 points out of 100, she just needed 3 more points and she would have been Miss National Soloist. And now suddenly you're just like, nah, you're just not good at this. Like I said, the best thing about this show is you really do find yourself getting very much invested, whether you want to or not.
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
And the last thing I want to talk about, I'm going to cut this short because I feel like I've been standing here way too long. Swear I've been working on this for the last 2 hours. Let's talk about Michelle.
The auditions are in here, right?
I'm going to say that my favorite thing about this show is Emily, and my least favorite thing about this show is Michelle. But the best parts of the show are seasons 1, 2, and 5, when the two of them are in conflict with each other. Emily being a foil to Michelle is just the best dynamic. Emily as the villain is the best thing about this show. One thing about Michelle though, I had no idea how young she was when it started, knowing that after the fact her character does make so much more sense, but still I feel like she was the most disappointing of the original cast, because she came in, her hair flipping, like looking like she was gonna be a badass, and yet she spends the entire season being like quiet little mouse, not wanting to take charge. I think it was like Riley and James who were like forced her to make a new dance, so not necessarily to steal the captaincy, but because they just felt like Emily wasn't doing her job well enough. I mean, honestly, it wasn't until season 5 when Michelle finally became the person I expected her to be in episode 1.
Emily doesn't intimidate me anymore. I'm going to take her on.
Okay, the video is not completely over, but almost. I just want to take a quick minute to recap some of my favorite things about the show. Favorite characters, West and James. Not only are they amazing dancers, but they've got really fun personalities. I enjoy them. Emily, like I said, Alex is the best actor on the show. Emily is the best character. Anytime she's not there, it definitely, you feel the drop off in quality. If I had to rank my favorite seasons in order, I would say 2, 1, 5A, 3, 5B, 4. Or maybe I should say 2, 5A, 1, 3, 5B, 4. You know what, either way, season 2 is the best, and the first half of season 5 is pretty amazing. Season 1 has a lot of issues, but it was entertaining. They were clearly trying to figure themselves out, and I feel like they definitely got at least a couple things right. Anyways, that's my opinion. Leave a comment down below. Have you seen this show? Do you enjoy it? And would you recommend me finding it and watching some of the later seasons? Also, subscribe to Brittany Raymond. It's a very good YouTuber. I enjoy her content. And a lot of these people have gone on to make some pretty decent careers for themselves. Trevor Torchman, he's done some things on Disney Channel. He's in the Zombies movies. He just finished a run on, what's that called? Bunked. Which also Giselle was in there too. Can't remember her real name. It was Giselle in the show though. However, it's summertime in Texas, the afternoon, and I am sweating over here. I need to turn my air conditioner back on. And so until the next time you see my face in a video, my name is Nathan Lyle. Hope you have a great day, week, month, year, however long it is. Bye.
You smoked all of it, didn't you?